Hi, I'm Sarah.
I'm Kira. We're in AP Bio, and we are going to compare C3 plants, C4 plants, and CAM plants. So C3 plants are the least advanced type of plant. Their stomatas close on dry days to conserve water, but that means gas exchange is prohibited, which means they can't take in CO2 for the Kalvin-Manson cycle to produce sugar, and also O2 is accumulating, which means it's really inefficient. And C3 plants, 3-carbon PGA is the first stable intermediate. Both the light-dependent and independent reactions happen in mesophyll cells. But what happens is that when O2 accumulates and can't go out because the stomata are closed, photorespiration occurs, which means that rubisco starts fixing oxygen instead of carbon to the intermediates, which basically makes the plant really inefficient because it can't really produce that much sugar, and it's using a lot of energy.
The main difference between C3 and C4 plants is an anatomical difference, and this difference is between the cells in the plants. So as Kira said, in the C3 plants there are just mesophyll cells, but in the C4 plants there are mesophyll cells and bundle sheath cells. Carbon is fixed for the first time in the mesophyll cells, and the first stable intermediate is a 4-carbon oxaloacetate, which is how C4 plants got their name. Okay, so these plants are less efficient on wet days when their stomata is enclosed, but they're more efficient on dry days when their stomata is closed, because they can make more sugar on those days than C3 plants. And examples of C4 plants are bamboo and corn.
They adapted to dry conditions by fixing carbon twice, limiting photorespiration.
Which is really important. So while C4 plants separate the two different types of reactions by having two different cells, the mesophyll cells and the bundle sheath cells, CAM plants separate the two reactions by time. CAM plants are like cactuses. They're usually found in the desert, really high temperatures, really dry. A lot of water evaporates, so their stomata only open at night. Like the C4 plants, they use the C4 cycle and the Kalvin-Manson cycle, but both of those reactions happen only in the mesophyll cells, which means CO2 comes in, and again it forms oxaloacetate, which is then stored in the central vacuole of the plant. And while this wouldn't be efficient at all in, say, a cooler climate, it's really efficient for these plants in these dry climates, and so it's like an evolutionary benefit for these CAM plants to exist in the desert.